Okay, this is lesson number 2 in our Summer Swing series. I'm Stephanie Nakasian, and we're about to begin this next class. Let's see if I can pause recording. Let's see what happens if I do that. Nope.
Positions of
Fine.
recouping your investment.
No, well, it's my recording. I can do anything I want to with
Ah.
it. Let's see. Okay, are we recording? Yeah, good, good. Hi, Anne-Marie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'm going to confess. I'm confessing here. I had yogurt less than an hour ago, so I'm going to be going.
I'm confessing I ate yogurt.
Yogurt. I
Exactly.
cannot.
Do you eat yogurt too?
That's funny. That would be a good singer song.
Yeah.
I have students that come into class that, and I said, "What did you have for lunch?" And then I said, "No, don't do that."
Well, I have, since age 27, I have had chronic GERD and gastroparesis, all of which have all that stuff. So if I eat, I can't eat on a day of performance at all.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. I have hypoglycemia and I have to eat every couple of hours, but I have to plan it. So it's just a little nibble here. But if I
Yeah.
go for if I make a decision not to eat like 4 hours before and I'm in the perform, I can be like, everybody's different, knowing your body.
Yeah.
So I'm also hypoglycemic, and that's where orange juice is my friend.
Uh-huh. All right, well, balance.
Indeed, indeed.
Oh, I think we're going to have a smaller group today, but we'll see. One person that wasn't here last week is coming, and then 2 people aren't. So I'd like just more time for you guys. Yay.
Wait, Steph, would you just let me know one person before I'm supposed to sing? Because I have to reset my camera.
Okay. I'll figure it out based on, I usually just look at the way it's
Mhm.
laid out. So unless you have a specific desire to go earlier or later, whatever.
No, I don't. I just need to know ahead of time because I'll have a second camera, but eventually, but not until the fall. So I've got to reset the one camera.
Where are you located again, Rich?
I'm in San Antonio.
In Antonio. Did you know I did the Jim Cullum jazz? I did Riverwalk for
Oh, really?
I did 10 shows for them. Yeah, it was wonderful. And Don Mopsick, who was the bass player for all of them, lives down in Cape Coral, Florida, and I go and sing with him in the winter.
Oh, cool.
It was a wonderful series. The best moment, though, they recorded live in this club, and
Yeah.
then recorded it they recorded for the club and then live in the club. And then when the recording was finished, the sponsor, who was very wealthy, took us out on one of the barges on the river.
Ah,
And the thing was, there was never any other boats on there. So he must have had a secret, VIP canal he got to go on, but it was so much fun. It's a lovely town. I really loved it. Even when it was 113 degrees,
yeah.
it didn't bother me as much as Florida at 70 degrees and 90% humidity. So
Mhm.
With it being a recent transplant to Tucson, and everybody's going, "Oh my God, the summer heat! You're gonna hate it." It was 100. So I will say, it did get up to 118 last Wednesday, but it still isn't as bad as 100 with 95% humidity that we
Yeah.
had in St. Pete, Florida. So
I'll take San Antonio at the moment over, the New York subway when it gets over 80 degrees.
it's really bad right
Yeah.
now in the east. In Virginia, which usually stays pretty temperate, it was 101, but the heat is very different. This heat is very, you
Very
don't want to
impressive.
go out and you go, I got to get out of here. It's not,
Yeah.
it just feels dangerous, so I don't know what's going on. Something in the environment.
Yeah.
Anyway, all good. Let's see. I think let me think how many we might have today. We have 10 minus, we'll have 6 or 7.
Who's not coming?
Maria's coming back from tour. Naoko called me and said she couldn't come. And so she sent me I'll tell everybody when they get here too, but she sent me a song and I commented on it. So I was able to give her some feedback that way. Um, Rachel has decided to drop. She's got family things that are in her way.
Oh.
Um, and I don't know, Claudia, she might come, might not. We'll see. Everybody's got activities in the
Mhm.
summer. Yeah.
So I'm just going to think of this Monday afternoon for me, Monday evening for you, as my weekly therapy session.
Can you help me? I did a gig just now this afternoon for I do a lot of senior centers and nursing homes and you know
Mhm.
this one they had it decorated so amazingly for a beach party. Unbelievable. Jellyfish hanging from it was so gorgeous. And
Um,
almost everybody was in a wheelchair, which is very unusual. Almost everybody. And they just
oh my.
Oh.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, let's dance, let's do the swim, let's do so you end up like giving so much energy and at the end of it,
Yeah.
you liked it, but you can't tell, you know?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It makes me crazy. Anyway, I'm glad they liked it, but
I worked a couple like that. Yeah.
give me something, Hello.
Hi,
How are
how are
you?
you?
Good. Yeah, I'm just I shouldn't bemoan a gig. A gig is a gig. We had a lot of fun. We did all these beach songs and we did Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. We did all
I
these
love that
things
song.
and fun things and beautiful songs, as well, like Summer Wind and um, Summer Knows, beautiful, beautiful LeGrand song. So
That's what I've got. I was out in the garden today.
Wow,
I've got a summer nose.
that's gorgeous. Yeah, Summer Knows. I got it.
Where
Uh,
were you, Stephanie?
Oh,
Where was this?
I do a lot of things around Charlottesville for the nursing homes that are underwritten by different organizations. And,
Oh,
it
okay.
varies from, it's always in the afternoon for 1 hour. You schlep a lot of stuff and do your thing and go. And it could be retirement where they have their own houses and very wealthy and, they're not sick or anything, to all the way to dementia, to
Mm.
public housing, which is different. So anyway, this one was just unusual because everybody was just like they were catatonic, and I
Oh,
was like,
oh,
come
oh.
on, come on.
I've done a couple gigs in, memory care
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and
I,
that's
I
what
have
that is.
Mirazi. Oh, we haven't say your name for me. Mahasi. Mahasi.
Hazy.
Mahazy,
Hazy. Nice to see you.
nice to see you.
When we
Hi.
start, I'd love you for you to introduce yourself. People I think they know you, but just we're gonna have a smaller group. Maybe this is it. Let me see. How's your surgery, Ted? How do you feel?
I'm gonna sing.
Yay! All right.
Yeah, I turned a corner yesterday. I can talk. I can open my mouth well. I warmed up a little bit. It was okay, so I'll sing.
It's always something, isn't it? I
It
mean,
is always something. Yeah. I do have a mouthful of stitches, but I'm feeling a lot better.
all right. Well, we'll just be gentle about that kind of. I'm much curious whether Claudia's coming. We would be six of us. One, two, three. We're already six. Okay, let's see. All right. Well, we will. What time is it now? Let me see. Okay, I think we're going to start, and if Claudia's going to come, that would be great. How are you, Juan? Hi. So, one thing I wanted to say, of course, make sure you mute yourself when, if you're not talking, and if you want to talk, maybe it's better just do this so we can know who's on and who's off. Naoko couldn't come today, so I let her send me a song, audio recording, and I gave her some critique on it. Okay, just to give her something to think about. So if that happens, I'm happy to do that. I want to give you guys feedback, and happy to provide that. Whatever you could completely disagree with everything I say, but just at least as feedback. Rachel had to drop the chorus. Maria and Naoko will not be here today, and I'm glad, Ted, you can sing. So, I hope everybody got a chance to look at the handouts, and if they're totally confusing, I do have all those workshops I did that do go into these. But is there any pressing? First of all, before we start, Mahazy, would you introduce yourself to everybody? Tell us where you live and what you want out of this course. You have to unmute yourself, Mahazy.
Okay, I'm having some problems with one of my sound. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Loud and
I'm getting echo.
should I be, do I have to, is somebody on? Maybe I have to
Hold
mute
on.
myself.
I know.
Do I have to mute myself? Okay, I'll mute myself.
No, I don't. Is it echoing now? It's good? Okay. Okay. I don't know if it's the microphone or the Mac. I am Mahazy Roundtree. I'm from Harlem, New York. What was the other question? I'm from
What you'd like from the course? What, what you're feeling about why you want to take this?
um, always to improve my performance. I've actually wanted to study with you for a minute, Stephanie. Just trying to get my schedule together. I sing around town and do all the jam sessions. I haven't done a formal show in so many years. Started singing, I stopped singing. I was singing all around town, and I stopped singing. Came back during COVID, thanks to jazzvoice.com. So what I've been doing now is really enjoying myself, hitting all the jam sessions, and working on picking not the everyday standard that everyone sings all the time, and kind of I like the thing about swinging, and just I like to pick songs that musicians like to play, especially for jam sessions. I'm picking songs that musicians really like to play on, and yes, I am still playing bass. Um, so yeah, that I started that when I was 50. So it's a new thing for me. I play some jazz bass, jazz, but really like playing funk and R&B.
Fantastic. Well, welcome. You guys probably know each other. Some of you know each other. That's fabulous. So what we'll do today, first of all, I just want to ask if anyone has a pressing question on the handouts, and then we'll go ahead and everybody will sing for 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll and ask questions or get feedback. And since we have fewer people, we'll be a little more flexible. Yes. Tell me if I have to mute to hear you without echoing. Yes, Rich.
Okay, I'm not hearing any echo.
Good.
What I'd like you at some point this evening to define what you mean by dumping and spilling. I know you talking about singing behind or ahead of the beat or what? So,
Okay,
uh,
we're gonna do that. We're gonna actually look at that handout, which I meant for this class,
mhm.
and try to figure out where are the places that I'm most likely to lose tone, lose breath, lose power, and they're very predictable. So we'll talk about that.
If I knew what you meant by those terms,
Yeah, me
everything else would
too.
click into place.
I'll give you
That
one
was my
example.
question.
If we go, lullaby birdland, that's what I always hear when you sigh. Those places that I pushed down, I lost momentum through the phrase, and I did
Right.
it da di da da di da. Even though it's a low note, we don't want
So
to.
what do you call that? Is that what you call your dumping?
Yeah, could be dumping. It's pushing down, spilling tone. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it happens on a. So we'll go through that handout, which is I think number 5, and go
Okay.
through that. But they're really predictable. It's really bizarre, and we just see them coming. We say, okay, I'm just gonna go. That's what I always, and here go through it rather than push down at it.
I know on ballads when I get to a lower note, I have a tendency to uh, just come down on it a little too hard because frankly, it's so comfortable
Sorry,
to find that to have that low note. Oh, I got a break, But
we don't care where the audience doesn't care how comfortable.
yeah,
We just want you to deliver the sentence and not linger on it. Listen to this note. No, we
yeah,
want you to tell.
I understand and agree.
Okay,
So
excellent.
if that's dumping, what is spilling? Because
Well,
I had the same
it's
question.
kind of the same thing. I mean, you're spilling tone, you're spilling power, you're letting something, uh, you're losing something that you could
Okay.
be taking forward. So instead of going, that's what I always hear when you sigh, it becomes that's what I always when you sigh. We don't really get through it, and so that we end up taking too many breaths. We end up pushing and pushing, and I'm always, I need to take more breath, and it's because we're actually spilling a lot of our breath on these places where we're putting extra pressure, and they're very predictable. They can be high notes, low notes, long notes, words that we want to bring out. They can be a rhythmic place, like when I say don't sock the syncopation, we don't want to be going a cigarette holder which wakes me up. That's not cool because it's not flowing. So the idea is to get flow and communication and delivery of a story without yanking it up and down. And when we do that, we stay open and we get more voice, which means more power to deliver. So and we all do it. So we just find those play. Here it comes. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Anna Marie.
I may have misinterpreted something from last week.
Mhm.
So, apropos of this dumping and spilling, as I was playing with Swinging, the song that I worked on just today, um, I was playing with extending and making some phrases more lyrical rather than the really through the voice and the syllables helping to swing the beat. And I thought last week that and again, I may have misinterpreted it, that that kind of moving into a lyrical move through a phrase might not be the best thing to do with swing.
Well, this is a really tricky point. It's a balancing act, you
Okay.
know. Um, the theater and cabaret people who are so good at lyrics, you know, sometimes that gets indulgent in a lyric, and then even you bring that word out, you're missing some of this momentum. And then the jazz people who are so da da biddy biddy biddy, like we might even not even sound like we're singing about anything. It's just swinging, but you have no idea what the words are. So there's a balance between the music and the lyrics. There's a balance. And the really great singers, Ella, Sarah, Peggy Lee, Lena Horne, these people, they get it. Nancy Wilson, they know how to deliver the lyric passionately and well while still keeping the thing flowing. So they don't indulge, well, sometimes they indulge a little bit, but it doesn't pull it off of the track. So it's a good question. And there's really no answer except be careful you don't swing so far that now you lost the end of. You can hear if your end of your phrase is empty or dead and has nothing, and then you have to start up the next one to get that going. You probably lost some momentum,
Yeah.
and we don't want to lose momentum. We want the audience going, oh, "What's next? What's next? What's next?" So, it's in us to like, I want to bring this word out, And if we do that too much, we can really lose the flow. So it really is a balancing act. Yeah, very good point.
Thank
Anybody else before we start? Yeah. Anybody else before we're going to start around? Okay, so Rich, you want one? Why don't you go second, Rich? And Anna Marie, what can you go first?
Sure. Let me get my phone ready. And so,
Uh, by the way, I'll be turning off the camera while I move it.
Okay, I know
I'll
you
let you know from last week.
okay. So everyone's going to sing, and then if you have any questions about the song or tell them what place in the song that you feel could use some help. I normally would recommend not doing 3 or 4 choruses of something, but keep it to a shorter amount so that we can have more time to talk about it. But if you definitely get to the place where you feel something's not, it's not clicking here. Okay, what you got, Anna Marie?
all
And
right. So,
one more thing, sorry.
yeah.
I had somebody send me something about a young singer who wants to be in a master class, and they sent me her singing Misty. Okay, Misty's written by a jazz guy, Misty's sung by jazz people. A ballad doesn't really call on your rhythmic skills as much as a swing tune, okay? So it doesn't mean there's not a difference between a jazz person singing a ballad and a non-jazz person. There is a difference, but it's a little more subtle. And certainly we keep it flowing. But I think for the purposes of this seminar, the more you can do swing and then get yourself in an uncomfortable, maybe even somewhat semi-uncomfortable place, although you don't want to go too far over, so that you're letting go and getting into the rhythmic aspect. That'll be better. Okay,
Okay, so funny, you should talk about ballads versus swing because I have a favorite version of this song that Mel Torme does that is very much a ballad. And I wanted to play a little bit with turning it into a little bit more up-tempo swing, which meant that I was spending a lot of time trying to find a click track. iReal Pro wasn't really working for me. And so the song is written by Bob Hames and Alan, I think, Grant, and it's called That's All. And you can put your hand up. I can see the screen if you want me to stop, because I just did the whole thing through, and it's an A B C C interlude, and then back to B and C. Okay.
okay.
All right. So hopefully you'll be able to hear this on my phone. I'm not hearing it now. What's going on? I had this all queued up before logging into the call. Okay. How's the sound?
A little loud. So sometimes if you hold your phone near you, it's not going to be as, there you go. That may be.
Better? I can only give you love that lasts forever, and a promise to be near each time you call. And the only heart I own, for you and you alone, I lost the words, that's all. That's all. I can only give you walks in springtime, and a hand to hold when leaves begin to fall, and a love whose burning bright will warm the winter night, that's all. Baby, that's all. There are those, I am sure, that have told you they would give you the world for a toy. All I have, I've lost the two arms to enfold you, and a love that time can never destroy. If you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, you'll be glad to know that my demands are small. Say it's me that you'll adore for now and evermore. That's all. That's all. And there are those, I am sure, that have told you they would give you the world for a toy. All I have are these arms to enfold you, and a lifetime can never destroy. If you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, you'll be glad to know that my demands are small. Say it's me that you'll adore for now and evermore. That's all. That's all. That's all. That's all.
All right, all right.
Yeah, so sorry about the B section. I lose.
It stays the same. Da-be-da-ba-dee-da-ba-dee-da. The first one and the second one are actually exactly the same. Then it ratchets up. Da-be-da-ba-dee-da.
Yeah.
You wanted to ratchet a little earlier, but that's fine. That's fine. So, first of all, keep working on your break, okay? So that you can go through it without any kind of a changing voices, because we want your full voice through that area, right? That's going to be the power area. So jazz has this, it sounds like a da dee da da da, but there's a subtlety that gets us there. So I always had to, coming from rock and roll too, had to make sure I'm behind it a little bit. Boo doo doo da doo da 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 da, instead of trying to make it swing, sort of find the swing place. So to find the swing place, you first have to be so sure where the time is. That means you have to, if you have to take a pen and go tap, 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 dun, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, da, da, dee, da, da, dee, da, 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 but really feel where one is. Really feel. You got a couple times you got carried away in your singing and got off the track a little bit of where the beat of the rhythm was. You had very good ideas, but when they got placed off the track, they didn't have as much power. Does that make sense? So I think
does.
counting with it, tapping with it, even if there's a really stupid, silly thing I thought of where you have a box that says one, a box that says two, a box that says three, a box that says four, and you go, I'm going the wrong way, probably. But anyway, but so you really have a sense of exactly where those beats are, and you can then then you can figure out where you're going to be with respect to those beats because you have really good ideas, and they just sometimes needed syncing with the harmony and the pulse of the song. So that's just a little bit more rhythm listening and forcing yourself to be with that. A couple of times, in that bridge, it's like Lullaby Berlin. Be careful you don't push down, lift up. That's what I call the trampoline effect. If you find yourself losing breath, never asking, if you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, that should be one breath. If you
Oh,
find
yeah.
yourself wondering what I'm asking in return, you had to take a breath before it, and I think it's because you whacked, dumped, spilled on wondering. One, WON is a really bad set of consonants. It makes us go one. You're wondering, see how hard I hit that W?
Yeah.
So much breath was gone, and then the N on the other side comes in and goes, So we're already stuck. If you're wondering, and then there's drin. So that word can really be a quagmire of tightness. Wondering what? Try wondering what? Wondering what?
Wondering what,
What you want to hear from your voice is
wondering what, if you're
ah.
wondering what I'm asking in return, dear.
Okay, so you unblocked that
Yeah.
because you said, okay, is that I'm gonna want to pounce on it, and you can sing your song on and it shouldn't sound like it shouldn't sound like that. Oh, that was the 8 minutes. That's the 8 minute timer. But that's what I would suggest is that you find the places where you had to take in the extra breath and then figure out where that happened. And we'll talk more about that. That was basically it. I think you really have wonderful feeling for it, and you've got great ideas. So, I think it's a nice song to do up tempo. It actually works, you know. Very nice. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay. Hope that helps. We can do more later. All right, Rich, are you all set up technologically speaking?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
All right. By the way, a technical note, the camera is a separate connection and it's an old lower speed connection, so the audio and the video don't always sync up.
Okay.
So just pretend you're watching a Vitaphone picture from 1928, and the
Okay.
record's a little off.
Also, always remember to put your original sound for musicians on when you're singing live. Okay.
Yes, it's on.
All
Does
right.
it, does
Take
it
it
sound
away.
like it's off?
No, you're fine. I just
Okay.
forgot to mention that.
So last week I did Last Day of Pompeii a cappella, and you asked me if I got everything set up to do it again with the track. So that's what we're doing. To reiterate, this is a song called The Last Day of Pompeii by Michael Peter Smith, wonderful singer-songwriter in Chicago. He's gone now, but he left 3 or 4 albums. Look for him. It's great stuff. Not all of it is more or less humorous like this one, but they're all wonderful tunes and source of great material if anybody's looking for interesting stuff.
How long is this song? Because I remember it had a lot of choruses and stuff. Do you want to?
There's 2 choruses, no instrumental.
Okay, you don't know how long it will be? It's always good to time your songs, you guys, so that we have more time to talk on them. And if you find, maybe I'll just do one chorus.
It is 3 minutes and 23 seconds.
Perfect. Let her rip. Not a good thing to say to a vocalist.
On the last day of Pompeii, I thought I heard a poor boy say, "Oh, wow, man, if I knew then what I know now, I'd have done more, been more than I'd been, had fun more, sinned more mortal sins. Oh, wow, man, if I knew then what I know now, I would have sent back that steak that was so overdone. Grab that big break while there was time. Made my life into a fantasy. Hot stuff for me to remember. And now that I'm a goner, all that lava rushing round the corner. Hey, I ain't complaining, just thinking out loud. My life would be different, my love would be different if I knew then what I know now. On the last day of Pompeii, I thought I heard some poor girl say, "Oh, wow, man, if I knew then what I know now, I'd have taken up the slide trombone, had a garden where I grew my own." Oh, wow, man, if I knew then what I know now, I would have taken that Mediterranean cruise, filled up on chocolate, cigarettes, and booze, giving some perfect stranger the blues, all that stuff to remember. And when Vesuvio came to call, arrivederci, I'd have done it all. Oh, wow, man, I ain't complaining, just thinking out loud. My life would be different, my love would be different if I knew then what I know now. My life would be different, my love would be different if I knew then what I know now. My life would be different, my wife would be, wait, if I knew then what I know now. Ciao.
All right. It's really a cute song. It really is. It's lovely. So you are a really good deliverer of lyric. Can you hear that? You really
Thank you.
delivered the story and the words. And so because you're there on that side of the spectrum, I would say for next time, pick a song that's mostly melodic.
Okay.
Maybe that, like ah dee dee ah da dee da. It could be a ballad, or it could be a swing tune too. But this one has so many lyrics that is mostly about the words. But practice this one on the danger with a lot of lyrics, especially when they're cute, is that we don't concentrate on the tone. And so I would suggest that you practice as bop 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 bop. Practice it on BAHP, bop.
Okay.
Right? Do a little bit on bop for a second.
Okay. Ba-ba-doo, ba-ba-ba-ba.
Right.
Ba-ba-doo, ba-ba-ba-ba.
And it's always bop, right? It's not supposed to sound that great. It's just bop 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 bop, or even go ah la 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 la. In other words, sometimes the enunciating of the words takes us away from the flow of the tone. Right? So I was doing a classical lesson once, and the teacher said, "Don't enunciate so much." I was like, "What?" Of course, it was in another language. Who cared? But I think you could probably try that experiment and see if because sometimes you're cutting off some of that tone in your desire to get the word out. And I don't think you need to do that, especially on words like now and loud. That's a really weird combination of vowels. It's like naud. Not basically now is like naud, now. So everybody sing na, N-A-H. Naud, and then put na in it. I didn't mean now.
Yeah.
Now, and then it goes through O and U, right? But if you go now, the minute you kind of grab that, you suck back the tone. Same on
Ah.
loud. Try loud, thinking of la. Loud.
Loud.
Yeah, of course, it's really not loud. So it's
Yeah.
loud,
Loud.
right? But what we don't want to do is loud. We don't want to suck
Yeah.
that grab
Okay.
it. So those could use a little bit more too in that. Da, 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 da. Mediterranean cruise. Okay, that's cool, but if you overdo it, Mediterranean cruise,
Yeah.
it took away from the word cruise, right?
Ah.
So you can enunciate Mediterranean cruise without going Mediterranean. See, that was
Uh-huh.
too much, to me, too much rhythmic enunciation, not enough subtlety, and it lost that,
Hmm.
right? So that was one place
I've
where
always had a problem with that little bar.
it's very hip rhythm. It's just you don't want to overdo it, you
Yeah.
know? Just sing that part, Mediterranean.
Mediterranean
Yeah, da 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 cruise. I mean, you're going to
cruise.
cruise, right?
I
That's an
should have
adjective,
taken that Mediterranean
right? And
cruise.
every one of those syllables has to be even. Da 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 dee. So sing your song
Mediterranean
without the words. Sing
cruise.
bop 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 bop
Bop,
bop.
bop, 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 bop.
That's it, and that'll take you to that last word better. So that's basically my only thought on this is that it's wordy and and that makes it a challenge for tone. And the second chorus, see what you can do to change it. Maybe you have an accompaniment thing you change, or maybe change a key
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
something,
That's
because
absolutely
there's so
right.
many words we can get lost in the words.
Yeah.
As the audience, it's a lot to deliver. So think how you could keep the audience engaged. Sometimes it's just in the accompaniment,
Hmm.
going from 2 to 4. Sometimes it's um, changing the key. Sometimes that so that we,
Yeah.
we always got something else to say, and you have to see that I was
Ah.
here and now I'm here and I'm headed to the ending. So see forward so that you will guide us through that.
Hmm.
Okay, so that was great, Rich. I think. Uh, I'm not saying less words, more flow, but think of that.
Think
Sing
more
your
of the
songs.
flow.
Think
Yeah.
of the ah. Sing your song on ah or da 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 da
Hmm.
da 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 da. And you should really hear. You should hear it going da. You should hear
Uh-huh.
that tone flowing
Yeah.
without the
Think more
words.
of the line.
And
Okay.
then when you put the words on it, that'll really sound great, right?
Hmm.
But you don't want the words da 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 da. You don't want. Sometimes it almost sounds like you're speaking the words
Yeah.
and then you're not singing, are you?
Yeah.
So you don't want that to happen at the expense of your nice voice.
Hmm.
Well, that's what I have on that one. Very, very nice. So next
Thank you.
time, find one that really makes you melodically challenged and maybe doesn't have so many words clustered together.
Okay.
That makes sense? Very,
Yep.
very nice. Okay. Terry, what you got?
Hi there. By the way, if you've seen me get up and down, it's because my cat keeps wanting to be let in and out and in and out. So I apologize.
Cats always know when they're not getting attention. It's like,
It's
look at
very
the little
annoying.
screen.
So I thought I would do, one that I've done really pretty often, east of the sun, west of the moon, just to see, if I can make it make it better, get some feedback. I maybe I'll get my nerve up and try to scout on a little part of it. I have an old track that has like head in solo, piano solo, head out. So maybe I'll try to skip through the piano solo if you want, fast forward or whatever.
Now, if I were
But
the piano player or the band, what would you say is, they will say to you, well, what song are you doing? What key are you doing it? What is this? What's this like? How do you do it? They usually say,
mhm.
how do you do it? So how would you characterize the general style of the tempo?
Yeah, like medium swing, and yeah, I sort of is
Similar
that
to Sometimes I'm Happy?
I'm sorry?
Similar to Sometimes I'm Happy?
Similar, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's groovy, medium swing is groovy. And those of you who kind of gravitate to that, I would suggest pick one next week that's a little bit faster. It doesn't mean you have to go, but just one that gets you out of that like a lot of people, when you do medium swing, it tends to become almost a ballad. Even though
Mm,
the band is going ding, 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 ding. But I'm not saying that's you, but I'm just saying it's a very tricky
right.
tempo. Anyway, take it away.
Sure. Next time, I mean, I could even pick a
No,
Latin
this is
song.
good for now. I think it's fine.
Okay.
I'd love to hear how you play with it.
Okay. Let me start this up. Make sure you can hear it. This is that's like an old recording on it of people of me talking. Let me get it queued up. Can you hear that okay? East of the sun and west of the moon, we'll build a dream house of love, dear, near to the sun in the day, near to the moon at night. We'll live in a lovely way, dear, living on love and pale moonlight, just you and I, forever and a day. Love will not die, we'll keep it that way. Up above the stars you'll find a harmony of life to a lovely tune. East of the sun and west of the moon, dear. East of the sun and west of the moon. Here's where he's gonna do his solo.
You could learn that. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do.
What's that?
You can actually learn that solo. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah. Just you and I, forever and a day. Love will not die, we'll keep it that way. Up among the stars we'll find a harmony of life to a lovely tune. East of the sun and west of the moon, dear. East of the sun and west of the moon. East of the sun and west of the moon.
Hey, Terry, sing this note. Sing of the moon. Sing up there.
Of the moon.
Okay, so I want you guys to feel, I know it's easy to go down, but come on, this is your climax, you know? And you already you had us so nicely when you went, la da 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 la da 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 da, you know, and west of the moon, dear, east of the sun, west of the moon, you know, finish it off. I think that coming down at the end of a swing tune, it's such a downer. It really is.
Okay.
Really?
Good point.
I mean, you know, I think sometimes it can work. I'm not saying there's these rules, but it's really, we really want a bow on the package, you know? And you sort of let us down because you had us, you know, you sang a lot of it low, and then all of a sudden you started getting in your nice sparkly upper range and pull back from it. You know, don't lovely, lovely. Where's it go to lovely?
Up among the stars you find lovely tune.
Lovely tune, right. So this is an example of how easy it is to pull up and then not go forward. Lovely tune is, you know, instead of going lovely tune, you see what happened? You had that great nice note up there. So try to, even if you go lovely tune is, you know, at least give that last word purpose rather than let that higher note take it away. So I think you sing great. And by the way, I wouldn't call this medium swing. This is medium upswing. Medium, I thought you did east of the, like east of the sun. Most of the people do it like that, which you didn't. You're doing it almost up. The trick in this, and by the way, when you're setting your tempos, harmony of life to a lovely tune, that's really a bunch of cluttered little words. Yes. So you better start out by going, harmony of life to a lovely tune. You know, stay on top of it. Don't lay it back, for God's sake, or you'll never get through it, or even get ahead of it. But it's got to sound relaxed. If it sounds like harmony of life to a lovely tune.
Right.
So I think, you know, set the tempo where that's going to work, and then make the rest. A lot of people set it from the beginning, but the beginning, east of the sun, is nothing happening there. Set it from the most cluttered places. Oh, I'd love to hear you sing this a whole step higher. What key are you in?
Well, yeah, it's funny. I actually, so this was B flat. After a while, I started doing it in C. It's just that I happen to have the track in B flat, but I have I real. I've been doing it in I real and C.
I think you have a lovely low voice, but this is a sparkly tune. I always try to talk women out of the basement because
Yeah.
it doesn't have the sparkle. You can go down there and make a moment, but on a swing tune, we have to get through our passaggio so we can have all those lovely notes, A to E up there, and we don't end up getting stuck in the basement. But I
Hmm.
thought you sang wonderfully on it. Da 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 da. Scat syllables. Let's talk for 1 second about. Do you have a question on it specifically?
I just, I feel I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just kind of
Join the
doing it.
crowd. Scat singing will never, I don't think, well, maybe Ella did, but it's just weird. Okay, it's weird, especially if you're a word person, like we're the words. So you really have to tune into what you're doing, which is listening to music and listening to horn solos, and say, oh, that's talking to me. That's a language. Okay,
Hmm. Yeah,
that,
I just don't want to sound like, when because I have heard it where it's like all these weird like syllables, and I'm like, I don't know. I had one person tell me, just try for a while just to sing on la 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 la, just to get out of your head with like, oh, what syllables do I pick? But
I
then
wouldn't choose
again,
la. I
la
mean,
is not, yeah.
so what I was going to mention is that bop or dip or dap or doop have a beginning consonant and an ending consonant. But when you start doing la da 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 da, all this ah stuff starts taking the crispiness out of the rhythm. Bop bop boo doo da ba doo da. Once in a while, it can be da doo da. But da ba da da ba doo dee ba doo doo bop bop bop. Put some P's and dat do be bop dee dee bops. In there.
Mm.
And once in a
Mhm.
while, bleep, but I think singer tends to we get into our tone and then we start singing and scatting. La 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 la. That's not the point. The point is to sound like the horn. So the best advice is to listen to horns and hear them going ba-doo ba-doo bop boo doo doo ba-doo ba-doo bop ba doo bee bee, and they're comfortable with the fact that there's space between those notes. They don't feel have to go do 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 da 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 da. Those are very different. The same
Mhm.
notes, same rhythm, but
Mhm.
do 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 do. It's all made it all mushy, right?
Mm,
And
mhm.
and now, having said that, if you listen to Betty Carter, she go la la lo li la 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 lo li la lo lo. She'll do la la las and lo lo. She makes it work, but she
Mm.
doesn't go la la la. She'll do that. No, you don't do that. So that's what I would suggest with the scatting. I think that it's a tricky tempo, but I think you did really well with it, and I'd love to hear you do more with the scat
Okay.
thing, and
Okay,
because
great.
you really have a great feel for it. And the trick is not to lose the essence of the song in our jazziness, right? So make
Mm.
sure you're still up among the world, da 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 da.
Mm.
West of the moon, dear, east of the sun, and west of the moon. Let's just go over the moon. Let's just, take it,
Mm.
let it have a development to the end.
Mhm.
Because just swinging, it's fine, but a song's got to go somewhere from beginning to end. So that's your job as the driver, is to take us somewhere. Excellent,
Thank
Terry. Very, very
thank
nice. Very
you.
nice.
Thank you. Do you think what do you think I should bring next time? I mean, what
I
would
don't know.
be
Good question. I don't know. You
if
got you
this
down
is
the middle, and it's whatever you like. I think you've got. You can keep with this kind of tempo, or even faster, and see what happens. Or you could
okay. Okay,
beautiful.
cool.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Hazy. Yay, you guys sound good. What you got?
Okay, I'm going to do um, Can't Get Out of This Mood,
Mm.
medium swing. Let's test my sound.
I had not heard that song. I recorded a long time ago. It's an old song. I think
Is it?
Samara did it, right?
Yes, Samara did it. Yeah, that's what made me bring it back
Song.
out. How's
Ooh,
this tone? Too low?
could use more on from the track a little bit. Down a little. Yep.
That's good right there? Okay, okay,
What
now I
would you
got
say
up.
this tune is? What tempo do you? What would you say?
I think it's a medium swing.
A medium. I mean, I kind of categorize my mediums into like slow to medium swing, medium to
Yeah,
fast.
it's just over a walking ballad in a
Yep,
way.
exactly. Lovely. Take it away.
Okay, let me just see if I can get it to start again. I'm using iReal, the iReal Pro. What happened? I can't get it to stop. All these years and I'm still not getting it. Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. Can't get out of this mood. Can't get over this feeling. Can't get out of this mood. Last night, your lips were too appealing. The thrill should have been all gone by today in a usual way. But it's only your arms I'm out of. Can't get out of this dream. What a fool I was to dream of you. Wasn't part of my scheme to sigh and whisper that I love you. But I'm saying it and I'm playing it dumb. Can't get out of this mood. Heartache, here I come. Can't get out of this mood. Can't get over this feeling. Can't get out of this mood. Last night your lips were too appealing. The thrill should have been all gone by today in a usual way. But it's only your arms I'm out of. Can't get over this dream. What a fool I was to dream of you. Can't get over this scheme. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. But I'm saying it and I'm playing it dumb. Can't get over this mood. Heartache, here I come.
Very groovy, very groovy. Very nice. What a hard song. So, Rich, this is one of the songs I would definitely categorize as really bitchin' hard melody. And maybe Samara cheated on it, I don't know. But, if you have to listen to Lee Wiley or somebody that really, it's all chromatic. It's like these, and if you start, can't get out of this mood, you miss that moment where it goes, do, 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 the usual way. That word is a
Yeah.
killer note, and you got to be real careful. Da 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 da, the usual way. That's called brilliant because when you say in the usual way, and then the note goes, that gives you double power. So we really want to get every single note in the original song. Now, once you've heard the original song and you say, this is original, this is the way Samara did it, this way somebody else did it, I choose that one. Then you can make an informed decision. But a lot of singers, it's not really cheating, they change it. Okay. Certainly to make music popular, some of the producers say, "Oh, take away that, that flat five. Oh, don't do that chromatic thing. That's really weird. People are not going to understand that." So I know they do that to make it more palatable to the general audience. So listen to the original and make an informed decision,
All right.
because I think there's some notes you're really almost there with them, but they're not bullseyes, right?
Yep. Yep.
And you sing so well, and you've got such a feeling for the song, and your rhythm is great. So that's really what it's about to get this line. Thrill
Okay.
should have been all gone by today. Ah-da-dee-dee-dee-ah. And feel the way the guy wrote it, like to have these triplets, right? It's got a pattern. So once you start adding notes and decide, oh, I'm just gonna, add of that or add of this or that and make it sound more conversational, sometimes it pulls it away from the really simple, beautiful way it was written.
All right.
So I am not one that likes to do that. I do it once in a while and I add a word thinking, oh, I'll just make it kind of more
Yeah.
conversation. And I was like, wait a minute, now I've lost the whole it's repetitive. That's why it's powerful, right? And
Mm.
really pay attention to these triplets. They're so nice.
Mm-hmm.
What a
Gone by today.
fool to dream of you. You know, that word, whenever you say fool in a song, it's got so much, so
Yeah.
much power. So make sure, what a fool. Like Leah Wiley, she's like this white girl from like Oklahoma, but she did this, what a fool. Fool. She took it down like in the 30s style where they slid
Ooh.
down on it. What a fool to dream of you. She did this and then she came right back. You know, so work
Mm.
those notes out so they're more powerful.
Okay.
Tone is power. Tone
Okay.
is power. You even with the best rhythm in the world, if you don't have the note open, it's rhythmically not going to be as strong. Okay, so rhythm is great. Rhythm is the most important thing in terms of really delivering the song and the message, but you got to have tone on those moments of rhythm. So it's really worth going carefully through your song phrase by phrase and saying, wait a minute, I kind of think, especially if you're learning it by ear, and say, oh, I think I got it. But if you learn it off the page and you get to the piano and say, oh, wait a minute, I'm doing da 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 da. Oh, I didn't have that note.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I make all my students play piano. Just play the melody. It'll
Yeah, I don't know
just
if I have the original. I did learn it off a sheet, but I'm not sure if it's the original sheet.
well,
That's
send it to me and I'll look at it.
okay.
I might even
Okay.
have one of Music Minus One that I did, but I don't know who originally recorded this song. I know Lee Wiley's version, but there was probably even an earlier one, but I don't know.
Okay.
30s. But it's really worth being an archaeologist, and really digging and finding this because there's gems in it. And as
Yeah.
much as I love Nora Jones, she did Nearness to You. She just butchered the song in terms of its melody.
Mm.
It still had a good. It still sounded good, but she missed some of these really nice chromatic things and these bluesy notes, these flat fives, and that we love. And of course, it was a big puppet. So what do
Mm.
I know? Um, but that's really what I would suggest. What does this say? There I you. Oh, there I. Here I came. Oh, here you come. Oh, here I come. Right. That's a big
Right,
moment.
right, right.
So never breath. You don't want the breath there, right?
Okay.
Heartbreak. You can breathe there.
Heartache,
Here
heartbreak.
I come. That was a place where you never would want to have to breathe. But here I
Ah,
come. Right. You see how that just like
yeah, yeah.
so think of your phrases like you would speak them and make sure your tone is flowing to that. And if you find that you're out of breath, maybe you went, that's a dumping thing. Can you hear me? On that H, I just spilled all the breath. Here I come. Usually the first note is not the most important note. It really isn't. It's
Okay.
the one that says hit me, jump on me, you know, pounce on me. But it's almost always we want to go to the end of the phrase,
Okay.
with a few little, with a few little. Any questions on that you want?
Yes, I do have a question.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
the song kind of goes like, can't get out of this mood, can't get out of this feeling. So I was kind of confused with this. Should I connect everything like that, or if I'm swinging it, should I be like popping it?
Well, it's still connecting. It's just not doing oh. It's got ba ba da ba do ba ba da da do da da. So that's the challenge. When you start swinging to keep it, you're flicking it, but you're still flowing under that.
Hi.
We need flick and flow.
Flick and flow. Okay,
Yep.
I remember that. Flick
If
and
you flow
flow.
too much, it doesn't swing. If you flick it too much, it sounds too obvious. So
Uh,
that's you listen to Ella. People say, "Oh, she's just singing legato." No, she's really not. Really
mm,
good job. It's a beautiful song. Thank you.
thank
Thank you.
you.
We're gonna keep moving so I don't blow my my timing thing. Sorry, this is new to me. Ted, what you got up for us? What would you like to sing today?
So I'm gonna sing a vocalese horn solo that Annie Ross put words to. It's my nemesis.
Uh-oh, frozen, frozen. Uh-oh. Is he frozen for everybody or just me?
Still?
Okay, now you're back. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, it says my internet connection is unstable. Um, so first I had a hard time finding a key that was right for me. And then I feel like I'm fine with the actual horn solo part. It's that first freaking 4 bars that get me. And
I got an idea.
just in terms of, yeah.
Okay, so the name of the song's Twisted, and by the way, always John Hendricks, when I was singing this with him, he said, listen to Wardell, don't listen to Annie. He loved Annie, but you have to listen to the horn solo. Okay, so what key did you decide on?
I'm in F.
F.
I started out in C, and which was the same key that Annie Ross sang it in.
Right.
And I have those notes, but I don't have the agility to go all the way up to, to C and D5 and then come all the way down really fast. So I think the key is right. I sang it for Greta, and I sang it faster than I'm about to sing it now, and she said slow it down. I also had a horrible track. She gave me one of her tracks for it, which is nice. So it's slower. Sometimes I have a problem with the hits in the very beginning. They're her hits, so it's a little less, you know what I mean? It's a little less organic. But and then the other place where I have a problem is at the very end where I had a brain. It was insane. I feel like I'm gonna run out of air because you can't take a breath anywhere in there. So I sometimes forget to take a big breath before I do that. But
Well, I take a breath between those. I had a brain. It was insane. I definitely break.
you do?
Oh yeah, it's too hard. It's too hard not to do that. That's very hard, that part. But let me just real quick. I want to hear when you're saying, what's your first chord? My analyst told. What?
I think it's here. My analyst told me.
Okay, so real quick, and then I'll get to the singing. The first key, you're in F major chord, da 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 da. And what do you have to sing? You have to sing the flat 3.
Yeah.
So if you can sing 3 da 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 da, it's really, if you can just think this 1 3 5. If you can get that, then I think that's very tricky. But it is a very tricky start. Okay, take it away. I'm gonna stop.
All right, let's figure out the sound.
I think John Hendricks could tell I'd listened to Joni Mitchell and Bette Midler.
I tried not to do any of that.
I was brought up with that. Okay.
You didn't like it?
Can you hear this?
No.
Can you hear it?
Static.
Hang on. Well, that's because it's playing in my hearing aids. Let's try something else.
Bluetooth off. I do that. Musicians, song, original song.
Too loud? How about that? Okay. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head, the way he described it. He said I'd be better dead than live. I didn't listen to his jive. I knew all along he was all wrong, and I knew that he thought I was crazy, but I'm not. Oh no. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head. He said I need treatment, but I'm not that easily led. He said I was the type that was most inclined when out of his sight to be out of my mind. And he thought I was nuts. No more ifs or ands or buts, oh no. They say as a child I appeared a little bit wild with all my crazy ideas, but I knew what was happening. I knew I was a genius. What's so strange when you know that you're a wizard at 3? I know that this was meant to be. Well, I heard little children were supposed to sleep tight. That's why I drank a fifth of vodka one night. My parents got frantic, didn't know what to do. But I saw some crazy things before I came to now. Do you think I was crazy? I may have been only 3, but I was swinging. They left at A. Graham Bell. They left at Edison and also at Einstein. So why should I feel sorry if they just couldn't understand the reasoning and the logic that went on in my head? I had a brain, it was insane. Soldiers used to laugh at me because I refused to ride on all those double-decker buses. Oh, because there was no driver on the top. I'll just go to the end.
Whatever on the top. You're twisted.
Whoops. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head, but I said, "Your doctor, it's you instead, because I got this thing that's unique and new. It proves that to." Whoops.
A little behind on the entrance.
Yeah, it surprised me. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head, but I said, "Your doctor, I think that it's you instead, because I got this thing that's unique and new. It proves that I'll have the last laugh on you, cause instead of one head, I got two." Oh, I'm really somewhere else.
Okay, good. I want to. You amazing. Very, very excellent, excellent, excellent. I want to make sure we can get to this part. We talk about it. The entrance. What beat do you enter in the song?
I enter. I enter.
My analyst or whatever.
I think that it's. Is it on the like on 4?
1, 2, 3. My analyst.
4. So it's on 4.
So analyst is 4. That's a triple.
Oh, it's on 3.
On the and of 3. 1, 2, 3. My analyst told me, and told is your downbeat.
Okay.
While you're waiting a little too long, and maybe the solo is interfering because it's bleeding over into it, and you really want them to get off because you have almost a whole bar. 1, 2. My analyst told me that. You see, the downbeat is told. That's the beginning of the tune, of the beginning of that form. So you got to get those soloists to get out of there. Where in your chart you write the little pickup in there, 8th note and a triplet.
Yeah.
Play through that whole measure. They'll go dum dum dum. My analyst told me, right? So that's what's happening.
I think the other thing. I mean, if I was on stage, we'd be watching each other. You know.
You hope. You hope.
You hope. Yeah.
Don't
But
look at the cues. They're not going to give them to you. Just
okay.
Make sure they know from your music that you've got to have pretty much freedom in that measure. So they might go in, my analyst told me. They have to know you're coming in. That's why we put the vocal pickup, at least the rhythm of it, in that bar, so they get out of the way. And they frame their solo to end there.
Do you hear a pickup? Do you hear a pickup in there?
1, 2, 3, and 4 and a 1.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. So I think you sound great on this. I really do. And I
Are
think,
the notes right?
yeah, well, we're always perfecting our notes in these crazy things. I mean, I think I probably, I had a brain. It was a thing. I mean, I never think I do those right, but I definitely have to put my fingers on the chords. I don't know what key you're on, but I had a brain. It was insane.
That's it. Yeah.
I put my hand right on that. This is a major 7. Everybody sing that. Sorry, minor. This is a minor
7.
Right. I had a brain.
I had a brain.
Now, it was insane.
It was insane.
Those are correct. That's just the minor switch.
Yeah. I don't think I just sang that just now.
So if I'm right, that you put your fingers on it and sing it with the piano because it's really hard. I would love to hear your F that you sing on the top of these. A couple of different passages have a higher note, and it's kind of not coming out well. It's coming out airy rather than solid tone, and it's the top of your range. So I would definitely, it happens on, where it happens on, check it where it's before
They
the.
say, what's the Dale of today, Grand Bell? It was there, right? But it's
Just
Dale
check
of
what
today, Grand Bell.
there was. Edison also said, "Why should I be sorry if they're just gonna?" Where's the? I don't know where that
Hey,
happened.
Grand Bell. They all lifted Edison and also at Einstein. So why should I feel sorry if they just?
So we I don't know. It was where's it happening? I don't know, but this I wrote it on happening.
I think it was. Where's
Find a
half?
vowel. Find a vowel and go through the vowel rather than heh. Use the H to hit it because that will take
Okay.
your breath. Easily led. I don't. My told me that was on about and I said easily led. Ooh, that's so beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
not that easily led. Check that one out.
I'm not that easily led.
Half, a little higher. Not that easily led.
Do-do-day-do-day.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty out. Uh, happen before swing. There's a couple of them that where you go to this higher F note and you just kind of rush, not rush through it, but air through it instead of like open and flow through it. You'll get more
Okay.
power to that place. And the other thing, and then I gotta keep going. With all these words you're singing, this is very similar to what Rich was dealing with. Lots of words, lots of trying to get them all out. We don't want to enunciate at the expense of flow, which, it's hard. So I would sing this, yeah. Pretend it's more legato and try to sing it on a, ba 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 doo da. Because if you listen to Wardell, he's really flowing.
Okay.
Not going da 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 da, even though the rhythm so. I think we can all, when we're got these songs that are doing this, think a little more flow, and it'll help us. It's the same way that when we're flowing too much, we could think more
So
about.
I need to set an intention to sound drunk, more drunk. You know what I mean? And that sort of sometimes I say that to myself, and then I'm a little less like the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
I get it. I mean, but that's what's called practicing. We practice it very meticulously, and then when we're
Yeah.
ready, we've got it. Then we flow through it. So yes, we have to start with that. We have to start with
So
that.
was the swing okay?
Yeah. Who thought he was swinging? Oh my gosh, you were swinging like crazy. Yeah. You were really, it was great.
Sometimes I feel like I lose it,
I don't
but
think so.
okay.
The only places where I think that would enhance it would be, as I say, bring out the tone more on these couple of places. But
Okay.
I like the way you swam through all those really difficult. They're very hard, not meant for a singer.
They really are like I'm learning don't get scared
That's
right
really
now.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not as hard as it's just not as hard as this. It's not all over the place.
Even the solos. Pretty
Yeah,
simple.
I don't know. Well, I'm probably singing them wrong, so what do I know?
I haven't done it. I've wanted to do that one, and Janice Siegel just sings that so
She
great.
does.
Oh, she's coming to our festival. Okay, we got one. We have to hear one. Let's hear it. I can't wait to hear. Thank you, everybody.
Is this recorded?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
And
so I'll be able to listen to your. Okay, great.
okay, what you got?
Hi, I was just gonna do Lullaby Berlin again, but then I thought I'll pick one that's faster.
Yeah.
So I got Pennies from Heaven,
Nice.
sort of a median upswing. I mean, I have sung this one in different tempos, and I never really decided which is my favorite, but we'll see how this one goes.
I do different tempos on different phases. Okay, someone's not.
Me.
Well, you're not supposed to be. Okay. All right. Beautiful. So medium to upswing. Right?
Right, okay, let's see how this goes. Too loud or okay? Can you hear it? Okay. Every time it rains pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade them for a package of sunshine flowers. If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heavens for you and me. Oh wow, I will just ended. I was gonna do a second chorus, but it's fine.
No, just put it on two choruses, 2x.
Oh, it was two, but I did like I started on last, so it just ran once. But it's okay.
I'd love to hear you. Do it again and do it on 3. That way we'll hear a thing. Why am I doing this? Anybody besides me?
I think it was me probably.
Anna Marie, are you? I think. See if you.
I just came off to
Okay, could
say,
you mute yourself for a second?
I just now came off and I was going to ask you do you have your microphone turned up really loud on your laptop, on your computer? Because sometimes that'll cause, for me anyway, that'll cause an echo on the other side.
I don't know. I mean, I can try to turn it down. I don't.
Echoing. No, but I'm echoing.
Let me see if I can. Okay, I'm lowering it. I'm lowering it.
Okay. Test. I don't know why I'm.
Am I quieter now?
Well, you are, but I'm echoing. Am I echoing for everybody, or just for me? Well, why would that be? Anybody want to explain to me why I would be echoing? Okay,
I think it's because I was not on mute.
Well, you should be able to.
But like I can't do echo cancellation because if I do that, then you won't hear my track.
Okay, let me just make, before you start, put on mute for a second. I just want to make one comment and then I'd love for you to do that again. So the trick is with swing, every single note is important, every single syllable. And if you sing pennies from heaven, see what I lost, ba ba do da da. So practice singing it without the words, penny da da da, da 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 da. If you go pennies from heaven, see what I lost knees. Penny da da da, dee ba do da ba. And it's very often the syllable after the heavy one. The heavy one here is p. Pennies from heaven. And so when I do pennies from heaven, I spill a lot there and then I rush through knee. Ba ba do da da. So that's the only thing I heard is a couple of places where it got a little heavy on one note and the other ones went, they sort of sputtered. So you want to listen to it and bring them out. Same with the triplet when you sing sunshine. I can't read my own writing. Sunshine and flowers, sunshine and flowers. See, that's da ba do da da. Sunshine and flowers. You could do it sunshine and flowers, or you could do sunshine and flowers, but you don't want to do sunshine and flowers. You don't want to lose that shine, right? So you practice. Do I want it as a triplet? Da ba do da da, or do I want da da do da da? So there's lots of different ways you could do it, but in any case, do not lose a syllable, because that'll make it go hiccup, and you'll lose that tension. Okay, let's try it again. Excellent, excellent. Just sing that. Sing pennies from heaven. Without the music for a second. Pennies from heaven.
Pennies from heaven.
Right, or pennies from heaven, pennies from
Pennies from
heaven.
heaven.
It's tricky, right?
Pennies from heaven. Yeah.
And especially if you got an N in there, the one that goes pennies from heaven, pennies from heaven.
Pennies from heaven.
Now think of the knees, right? Pennies from heaven.
Pennies from heaven.
Try that.
Okay. How's the volume? Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade them for a package of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heavens for you and me. Every time it rains pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven?
Try scatting on it.
Oh.
Ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo.
Ba-doo-ba, beep beep bop, beep beep bum, ba ba da ba do ba do ba do ba do dee da, ba ba da ba da ba do 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 dee, beep ba do ba do ba do ba do dee, boo dee dee bee ba dee boo dee boo dee, dee dee boo dee dee doo, dee 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 ba dee dee, dee 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 ba do do do, bee dee dee dee. Beep, 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 doo, dee.
That was really nice.
Oh, thank you. I was caught off guard on that one.
No, but you did great on it.
Oh,
Lots of
thank you.
ideas, and they were, some were more developed than others, like all of us when we're scatting and learning it. But I really recommend you keep doing that, and just every day it'll feel a little less weird. But that really sounded nice. Run under is a really tricky thing, right? Don't run under a tree. Don't run up. Try put the end of run with under. Run under. Sing that.
Run under.
Do you see that? So it doesn't go run under a tree. The end doesn't get mushed. Run under a tree.
Run under the tree.
Right. That's a nice chromatic. You want to really grab that one. And that's all I think. Oh, by down. Just be sure that your umbrella's turned upside down. That's the end of that whole first half. You don't want down to be down. From upside down. So be headed towards the end of that phrase so that it then takes you to the second half. That's the only one that sounded like it was kind of dying, and it was really important. But I thought that sounded great. What do you think, everybody? Good, just good, good, good. Beautiful, beautiful. Everyone sounds so really wonderful. And these are little tiny things that that help us to stay flicking, right? And they're very predictable. So if you look at the dumping and spilling handout, if I figured it out, I could share the screen, but that's going to take me 10 minutes just to figure out how to do that. But there are 2 pages to that. One of them says to top 10, what I call top 10 culprits of spilling the breath. The first one is the first note you sing. Every time, boom, we tend to, like a horn player, inhale and pounce on the first note. So that's very predictable. We inhale and we pounce. We don't want to do that because it sinks the phrase. Heavy beats, dun, 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 1 and 3. We don't want to do that. We want to keep it all moving. You might want to once in a while go, bop, but you don't want it to be just by a habit. Consonants in front that might push down. We talked about H and happen, pushing out. Consonants in back that cling. One under a tree, that stopped me from moving, that N. Rhythmic places that we make too much attention to, and we don't want to accent them. We just want to do flick, 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 and keep going. High note, we love to bring out our high notes, but if we do that, we don't have any place to go. See it as open and beautiful and go through it. Same with the low notes. Important words, if a word feels important to you, it'll come out without you going, I love you, without you doing that to it. Dynamic moments, dramatic moments, longer notes. Just because a note is longer are held doesn't mean we have to go da to it. Just da 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 da. So keep thinking ahead. On the back of that page, the second page, is exercises for avoiding these traps. And
Stephanie, I don't think I got this handout actually. Where
Right.
was it?
number 5. Okay, I will send them again. I tried doing it during the chat and it didn't work, so I sent them through emails. So I will send.
Oh,
Did you get 1, 2, 3, 4?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
All right, I will send 5 and 6 tonight to make sure I.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I actually got an email from Alexis and I thought it was attached. I thought she sent to all of us with,
No.
Oh, well,
No,
maybe
she-
Yeah, I didn't
that's.
get it either.
Okay, my
Oh,
mistake.
okay.
I will send it. I'll send it tonight, first, and
Okay.
5 minutes after I leave. And
Sorry.
the second part talks about going through the note rather than to it, and going through the vowels to allow you to stay open, opening your throat. A vowel connector is something like da ba do we. What would be a good one? Cigarette holder. Da, da, where you put a little vowel in between it. I'll show you that next time. I'll show you that one. Think to the next note rather than thinking where you are. Practice 2 and 4, practice the ands. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do do ba do ba do ba do. It shouldn't sound like do ba do ba do ba do, and it shouldn't sound do ba do ba do. So practice your 8th note scales, but swing them. Do do ba 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 do. You know, so you practice those, and practice triplets. Do ba do ba do 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 do ba do. So you have all these are even and flowing. Let's see, keep relaxing. Try not to think mechanically, but visually. So you're not trying to execute notes, but you're thinking of the whole phrase and where you're going. And keep concentrating on how you're feeling, because that's the real thing. Okay, so look at those this week. And the other one is about the different workshops that I did, and you can always refer to those workshops as well. So your homework for next time is to take a song, and let's try to do another song, right? Because it'd be great if we would keep expanding the songs we do. And write a list of 5 potential dumping and spilling places in that song, right? It could be 10 if you want, but try to think of like, oh, I can listen to yourself sing it and see if you can find, oh, I'm losing breath. Oh, that's because of this first note. I'm going pounce. I was dumping on that one. So see if you can identify, be an investigator, and find those places that are taking away breath, tone, power, flow from you. You think you can do it? I know you can. They're very predictable. It's too bad, but they are. That's what happened on Pennies from Heaven. You went pennies from heaven, right? The P took away, ka ba do da da do da. So when we have 1 and a 2, 1 and 2 and, it's the ands that propel us. It's not the da and da, ba do da ba do da. Ba-do-dee, da-do-da. That's like Lullaby Bruno. Da-ba-da-ba-do-doo, da-do-da, da-da-da, da-dee-da. It's that middleman, the second note. That's what I always, that's the one that moves us. And if you go, that's what I, da-dee-da, you see? Okay. Oh, yes, Maisie, you had a question.
Two questions. The mechanical singing and I just forgot the second one. La 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 la. Oh, 2 questions. The mechanical. Let me ask the second question. Should
Okay.
we still keep the up tempo, bringing up tempo tunes, swing tunes?
Wherever you think you could have some help in getting rhythmic with it. If you feel that a slow song, you're losing breath and you want some help opening the ballads, we can do that. But there wouldn't be a swing issue as much of it is I'll tell you for sure, if you have a ballad, you can really tell when you lose breath, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that will really show you some dumping and spilling places, and that'll open your tone flow. But we're talking about swinging so whatever helps you, I'm here for you guys for that.
Okay. And my second question is, when you talked about mechanical singing, my challenge is when if I'm playing it on piano or I'm playing the notes on bass, not to sing so exact. It's a half a note, it's a quarter note, it's that kind of a thing.
So that we all have to start that. That's how we learn a song, right? So the way I think about it is you have the learning phase, the practicing phase, the rehearsing phase, and the performance phase, and they're completely different. So in the learning phase, you're literally getting to the piano, to the sheet music. You're saying, oh, that's a half step, that's a whole step, that's a half note, and you're analyzing and you're being target practice and making sure you've got all the notes in the right rhythms. And yes, it's very rigid, and that's what's supposed to be in your brain. Then we close the door on it, like a submarine door that closed it, and we go into the next phase. And when you're in that rehearsal mode, you can't be doing that anymore. You've got to be in flow and let go and how I feel. And if you're stumbling, then you didn't complete steps 1 and 2 enough. You might have to go back, right? And go back to learning. Maybe I didn't learn that right, or I don't really know what beat that's on. But once you've really got it, you've got to shut that door. And it's really tricky because your brain is still going to go, oh, how did I do? Did I get that one? I don't know. That's the one I always, it's going to drive you nuts. So just try to find some way to, and just say, okay, I did that. I've learned it well enough. I can be free. It's very tricky. I tend to be very, listening for myself. And can I make a suggestion for your lighting in the room for next time? The light should be always coming from the front. So if you have, like, I can barely see you. So
I actually turned my light off. It's so hot here. I
oh,
had
it
to
is.
turn the
Okay,
light
yeah.
off.
Never mind,
That's why.
never mind. Okay,
But okay, but you say I should have it behind me?
in front of
In
you.
front of me. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it
because when
was.
when you have a window behind you and the light's coming through, then it just takes a minute. But anyway,
Oh, yeah, I
you're
forgot
beautiful. I
about
want
the
to see you.
window. Okay.
Other questions? I'll send those right out to you so you have a chance to look at them. But you'll find it's kind of embarrassing, like how predictable it is. It's like, oh my gosh, that's like, I did it just, where it's, where I was, you could look at a piece and say, I bet it's going to be there. And it's sure to, and it could be that you just need to open a vowel, you know, like we did with run under, right? Don't run under it. There was no room for run under a tree. We bop, 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 sing it on bop. You'll say, oh, that sounds great that way. Then you get run, under, and next thing you know, there's no vowel space. So you have to kind of pry them open. Sing your songs on ah, sing them on bop, and, really feel the flow, but make sure you've got your notes. If you could be the most fantastic rhythmic person and feeling the song, if you didn't learn it exactly, it's never going to come out exactly good, right? So you got to catch yourself on that. And I have a lot of singers that think they can do things by ear, and it doesn't. It may work 90%, but you guys are all too good for 90%. You guys actually wanted to work all the time. So that's what I recommend. So anyway, what else? Anything else you want to bring up? Everybody did so great, and you're all different and wonderful. And
I'm trying to learn more blues, jazz blues tunes. So I wonder if you have something you recommend. I only got a few, and maybe some of the instrumental ones have lyrics like Blue Monk. I'm not sure.
yeah, Blue Monk is kind of easy. One I started off with was "Things Ain't What They Used to Be," which is it's a Johnny Hodges recording, and it's mostly blues. There's one section that's not strictly blues. It's just like, I think it's one chorus of blues, and then there's like 8 bars that's different, and then it goes back into a blues form. But it's Johnny Hodges, so boo, 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 and you really hear all those sliding and all the nice horn. And John Hendricks put lyrics to that. Used to be
Oh,
my mind completely, but you
all
told me
right.
to. And so all that the horn solos are there. You know,
Mm.
baby, please, 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 pretty baby, hear me pleading. That was the first one I learned, and it helped open up my horn-like feeling. So I wasn't going, baby, please, please. I wasn't doing it like, like a choral person or something. So how about you guys? Can you suggest something for one
Um,
blues tune?
now is the time. This
All the
lyric said
time.
now is the time.
Excellent. Route 66 is easy,
Route
but people
66.
don't mind playing it, and it's fun. Anything else? There's millions of blues. Listen to um, Dakota Staten. Listen to I don't know. There's so many great singers. Why am I blank? Oh, Dinah Washington. But don't do the one about the dentist. It's
I
very
used to do that all the time.
did
Yeah.
drill me.
Long John, Long John. Yeah.
You courageous. I think they'd lock me up in Virginia if I sang that song. Anyway, you have to be a little bit innocent about it all. Like if you watch Alberta Hunter singing some naughty blues, if you can get her on video, she goes, and she's like 80 years old, and she's going, you know what I mean? She's like so cute.
I want a little sugar in my bowl.
I want
Sugar in
this
my
sugar.
bowl, right?
Oh yeah, all that early stuff is so great. All right, everybody. Anything else to comments? Give me comments over online if you want, and I will send you these two, and we'll move forward. I think the idea is that you feel that you're getting exercises to help you to make that next step. And if you're over articulating, you pick the slower ones and you pick the smoother ones. If you're under articulating, you practice really target practice. But we want that nice combination that, as you said, Emery, between the words and the rhythms that, so we get both. We're very demanding jazz people. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. See you all next
Great
week.
Okay, take care. Stay cool.
And you too.
I know.